Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Is the American justice system on the verge of collapse? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. It is horrifying to watch as the violent crime rate is skyrocketing in some places run by liberal politicians. That's because many on the left do not want to punish people, especially the poor, who commit crimes. They see those folks as victims of an oppressive society, i.e. America. So the USA is now on the verge of becoming South Africa. As you may have heard, Paralympic runner Oscar Pistorius is expected to be freed from prison this week after serving only 10 months for shooting and killing his girlfriend. In a bizarre trial, Pistorius was convicted of culpable homicide after he testified that he shot Riva Steinkamp in the bathroom of their home because he thought she was a burglar. Absurd, and everybody watching the trial knows it. The couple had been arguing, she was trying to break up with him and wound up dead. Quite simply, South Africa should be ashamed. Here in the USA, the media is largely ignoring the rising stats on violent crime. In New York City, run by Liberal Mayor Bill de Blasio, murders are up more than 9% in 1 year. Rape, up nearly 7%. In Chicago, run by Liberal Mayor Rahm Emanuel, murders up an astounding 22%. Shooting incidents up more than 18%. Criminal sexual assault up more than 6% in the Windy City. In Los Angeles, where the city council is unbelievably left-wing, aggravated assault up more than 26% year to year. Total violent crime up more than 20%. That means thousands of innocent people are dying or being injured because of foolish public policy. Here in New York, authorities now let vagrants openly bother passersby, use the streets as bathrooms, and generally do whatever they want to do. Traffic chokes the city. Commuters cannot even get into work sometimes. And the quality of life decline is stark and frightening, and everybody knows it. Some of the chaos is coming from the top. As President Obama has openly declared, so-called nonviolent offenders should be given leniency by the criminal justice system. Included in that nonviolent category, people who sell heroin, cocaine, crack, meth, folks who sell poison to kids. Estimates are more than 70% of all the crime in this country is drug-related, as is child abuse and neglect. Yet the pushers are non-violent. On the border, things are even more intense. According to a Texas Department of Public Safety report, in 5.5 years, criminal aliens in Texas have been responsible for more than 600,000 individual crimes. That includes almost 3,000 homicides in Texas alone. So you can see what's happening. In places where the left runs the show, Americans are now being put in danger by lenient criminal justice policies. There's no doubt about it. When a society is fine with giving a man who kills his girlfriend 10 months in prison, you don't have a criminal justice system. When a society feels sorry for a heroin dealer, you have chaos. When a society refuses to incarcerate illegal aliens with aggravated felonies on their sheet, you have anarchy. Talking Points believes that if Americans continue to elect far-left individuals, the danger to every single one of us will soon reach critical mass. And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight. Reaction with us, the governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie, is running for president. Violent crime in Jersey in the toughest cities, Newark, Paterson, Camden, actually down.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You cross the Hudson River to here, it's up. Why?
It's the frustration that everybody feels watching what's going on in New York, but then look down in a place like Camden. You know, Bill, 3 years ago, we fired the entire Camden City Police Department because of the incompetence, the bloated union contracts, and we brought in new police officers, 400 police officers for the same amount of money that we had 240 before. What's happened in 3 years? With strict enforcement of the law through community policing, 61% decline in murder in the last 3 years in Camden. This can be done, but you need to have leaders who are willing to step up, enforce the law. And this starts at the top. You were right in the memo. This president encourages lawlessness.
Why?
Because there's certain laws he doesn't like. So if he doesn't like them, he doesn't enforce them. He doesn't like the marijuana laws in Colorado, Washington, lets them go off and do what they want to do. You want to be a sanctuary city, not enforce the immigration laws? No problem. I mean, this starts at the top, and we need a president who understands how to enforce the law.
But here's what I don't understand. The case that I just made in 3 minutes and 30 seconds is overwhelming. The stats are the stats.
Yep.
And people in Chicago get gunned down in the streets, 7-year-olds, all right? Yet, in California, they passed a proposition last year that let an unbelievable amount of criminals out. And what's happened? Crime has been up in San Francisco and Los Angeles, every major city. So isn't it the fault of the people? It's the fault of the people themselves.
Well, ultimately, if you're going to put liberals like Bill de Blasio in office in New York City, every one of us who spends time in this city has seen, as you said in the memo, the decline in the quality of life here in New York City. And what you're seeing over in New Jersey, where you have someone like me as governor and some other cooperative mayors, where we say, you know what? Safety on the streets matters. Protecting the security and the safety of everyone, no matter where you live, matters. And the only way that we don't need new laws to do this, Bill, just enforce the laws we have on the books.
You need Kate's law. You need Kate's law.
I support Kate's law, and absolutely
you need it, and because in Texas, 600,000 crimes committed by illegal aliens.
But listen,
600,000.
But Bill, if we didn't have sanctuary cities, if we had a president who said we're going to defund these cities if they won't enforce the immigration law, then those folks would be in jail already. But Kate's law should be done as well.
Yeah, if you have Kate's law, then the authorities can go in and arrest on a warrant that you have been here illegally and put you away for 5 years. You don't need any other crime, just that crime.
But you know that these folks are committing crimes over and over and over again, and because of sanctuary cities,
they can hide.
That's right. We're not bringing them to justice, and we're bringing people to justice in New Jersey. That's what we need to do in America.
One of the problems that you're going to have going forward is that the state of New Jersey is 46th in the nation in economic growth. That's not good.
Now, let me tell you something. You know what we were when I became governor? 50th.
So you moved up 4 and 5.5 years.
Yeah, with a liberal Democratic legislature that sent me tax increases every year. I vetoed more tax increases than any governor in America.
None of this is your fault, though?
Absolutely not. In fact, let's take what credit we have to give. 192,000 new private sector jobs in 5.5 years since I've been governor. You know how many net private sector jobs we had in the 8 years before I became governor? 0.
Okay, but how are you going to stand up against Kasich and Walker, who have better economic stories to tell in their individual states?
First of all, Walker does not. We've created more jobs in New Jersey than by far.
But Wisconsin's in the 30s.
By far. Secondly, the other way is, look at what we've done. What people are really frustrated about in America is government spending. I'm the governor in this race who has increased government spending lower than the rate of inflation. In fact, Governor Kasich, Governor Bush, during their times with Republican legislatures, the amount of spending they increased was double what we did in New Jersey.
Well, the folks will have to see whether the money was well spent. Last question, real quick. I said last night that Trump was good for the Republican Party because it brings attention to the robust debate that we're having. Right or wrong?
Let's have a robust debate. I have no opposition.
Am I right or wrong about Trump? Is he good for the GOP?
I think every one of those people on the stage is good for the GOP. You saw 10 people on that stage, all of which were making forceful arguments. And so I don't think it's just about Donald Trump. I think it's about...
but you know the audience wouldn't have been in there if it wasn't for him.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on.
The country, I don't know about that, Bill, because the country is very concerned.
The country's angry.
This president has been lawless, and now he's got a Secretary of State who, in my view, is ready to be investigated criminally because of what she's done. Hillary Clinton, absolutely right.
She's in trouble. Governor, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much,
Bill.